forgotten war. That's exactly what Don, Kevin, and their rookie partner Carl found themselves facing one fateful morning. They had come as salvage workers, expecting rusted machinery and little more. Instead, what they uncovered would spiral into a night of danger, secrets, and revelations none of them could have imagined. The mission sounded simple enough. Inspect the submarine, record its structure, and prepare it for dismantling. None of the three had ever set foot inside such a vessel before, and the mystery of it only deepened their curiosity. They walked slowly around the submarine, running their hands across the corroded steel, trying to picture what it must have been like when it sailed during its prime. Yet as eerie as the silence felt, they were unprepared for what came next. Don had just climbed onto the hatch, one foot dangling inside, when the ground shook with the roar of engines. Black SUVs screeched to a halt, their tinted windows reflecting the workers' stunned faces. Men in dark suits poured out in tight formation, ignoring every warning sign posted around the salvage site. Within seconds, the atmosphere turned hostile. A towering figure barked orders, declaring the area restricted. His voice cut through the air like a blade. When the workers hesitated, he shoved one of them aside without hesitation. It wasn't just a warning, it was a message. Get out now. Don, Kevin, and Carl froze in disbelief as more vehicles arrived, yellow tape rolled out, and the entire zone was sealed off as though it had instantly become government property. Then Kevin spotted the unmistakable vest marked with 3 bold letters, FBI. He exchanged a wide-eyed glance with the others. Why would federal agents descend on a decaying submarine? What secret could this rusted relic possibly hold? Shaken and forced to leave, the trio retreated to a nearby diner. Over coffee and silence, their thoughts raced faster than their words. Curiosity gnawed at them. If the government had shown up in force, there had to be something inside worth protecting or hiding. The question echoed in each of their minds. What was really in that submarine? By the time the sun dipped below the horizon, their decision was made. They couldn't walk away. Whatever mystery the FBI wanted buried, they would uncover it themselves. The night air was heavy as they crept back toward the site. Shadows cloaked their movements, but when they reached the fence, their hearts sank. Armed guards now surrounded the vessel, rifles slung across their chests, scanning every angle. This just got a lot more complicated, Kevin muttered. Still, turning back wasn't an option. They crouched behind rusted containers, whispering furiously. That's when Carl leaned forward with a daring plan. Seconds later, a sudden blaring car alarm shattered the silence. Guards spun toward the noise, sprinting in its direction. Don and Kevin seized the moment, dashing to the submarine ladder. Their boots clanged against the steel as they climbed. They reached the hatch breathless, nerves stretched to breaking. But where was Carl? A second alarm exploded across the lot. Lights flashed. Guards scattered. Out of the corner of their eyes, they saw him slip through the chaos, a sly grin on his face as he finally joined them. With no time to spare, Don dropped into the submarine's dark interior, Kevin close behind, Carl sealing the hatch above them. The three stood still, ears ringing with adrenaline. The silence inside was suffocating, broken only by the drip of unseen water echoing through steel corridors. Step by step, they ventured deeper. Rust coated the walls. Cobwebs draped across ancient machinery. The air smelled of metal and mold, a chilling reminder that no one had walked here for decades. At least, that's what they thought, until they saw something that didn't belong. Scattered across a dusty table were modern food containers, their labels bright and clean, as if left just days ago. Kevin's eyes narrowed. Someone's been here recently. The realization sent a jolt of unease through all three. If this place was abandoned, why was it stocked? And if it wasn't, who was still using it? Lined the walls, but the fresh supplies suggested an invisible presence lurking just beyond their reach. Frustration grew as they searched room after room, finding nothing that explained the FBI's sudden takeover. Then it happened. Carl stumbled against a desk while trying to catch his balance. A faint click echoed. Slowly, almost impossibly, a section of the wall slid open, revealing a hidden passageway. The three froze, wide-eyed. This was no ordinary relic. This was the secret worth protecting. Hearts pounding, they squeezed through the narrow door. What awaited inside was nothing like the rusted corridors behind them. The floor gleamed, polished to perfection. The walls were spotless, reflecting the glow of a single light. In the center sat a small, modern radio, its surface pristine, as though it had been manufactured yesterday. Kevin twisted the dial. Static crackled, then a voice pierced through, urgent, commanding, and terrifyingly familiar. It was the same man they had seen outside giving orders. The realization hit like ice water. They weren't just trespassers, they were witnesses to something far bigger than themselves. As the message faded, Carl's eyes darted to another door. With Kevin's help, he forced it open, revealing a room that felt like stepping into the future. Screens covered the walls, flashing surveillance footage from docks, neighborhoods, even private homes. Faces of unsuspecting people stared back from the monitors. This is surveillance," Don whispered. Kevin's stomach tightened as he scrolled through endless feeds. This wasn't salvage, it was an operation, secret and invasive. Meanwhile, Carl rummaged through a folder left carelessly on a table. Inside, names, addresses, photos, target lists. Before they could process the horror, Don's hand brushed against a panel on the console. A piercing alarm exploded, bathing the room in red light. Sirens wailed, metal groaned, and the submarine itself seemed to come alive with danger. "Run!" Carl shouted. They bolted, weaving through twisting corridors as alarms echoed behind them. Boots thundered above guards were coming. Every turn felt like a trap, but at last they reached the hatch. The night air slammed into their lungs as they emerged, gasping, hearts racing. From the shadows, two figures slipped silently into the submarine. Whoever they were, the trio knew one thing. The secret was out, and the danger had only just begun. Back in their office, shaken and pale, Don and Kevin stared at Carl as he quietly unfolded the truth. He wasn't just a rookie recruit. He was an undercover CIA agent, assigned to infiltrate the very network that had been operating out of the submarine. The so-called FBI agents? Fakes. Mercenaries, posing as federal authorities to guard the operation. The room went still. Don and Kevin realized the terrifying scope of what they had stumbled into. And the file Carl clutched under his arm? It wasn't just evidence. It was the key to unraveling an entire organization. But it also carried a chilling detail. Among the targets listed was Carl himself. The night was no longer about curiosity or adventure. It was about survival. And the battle had only just begun.